From the outside, people saw a close-knit Midwestern family. Holiday cards, backyard barbecues, and graduation photos painted the illusion of unity. But behind the smiles, behind the posed family portraits, there were fractures. I, Daniel, the eldest son, carried the silent weight of being the family fixer. When my younger brother Jason floundered, which he often did, I was the safety net. Ever since we were kids, I played the responsible one. I protected him from bullies, helped him with school projects, even took the blame for his broken window incident back in 8th grade. That's just what big brothers do, right? But adulthood didn't mellow Jason. He turned recklessness into an art form. Credit cards, dodgy friends, get-rich-quick schemes. He dove into them all with the enthusiasm of someone who never feared the consequences. Because in his world, consequences were mine to bear. Our parents loved us both, but Jason was the one they worried about, and I was the one they leaned on. "Just help him out one more time, Danny," my mom would say. "He's your brother." So when Jason showed up at my place one chilly October evening, wearing his signature sheepish grin, I already knew what was coming. He wanted something. "Bro, I finally got a legit opportunity," he said, plopping down on my couch like he owned it. "HVAC delivery driver. Full-time. Union. It's real. But I need a truck. And, well, my credit's a dumpster fire." I folded my arms. "So you need a co-signer. Just your signature. I'll handle everything. Payments, insurance, all of it. You won't even notice it's in your name." Of course, I hesitated. Of course, I knew better. But the words of my parents echoed in my head. And Jason looked so damn hopeful. The next morning, I was signing loan paperwork at the dealership. A brand new Ford F-150. Jason's dream. "Thanks, man," he said, gripping the keys like they were golden tickets. "You won't regret this." But I would. Oh, how I would. The first 3 months went smoothly. Jason texted me pictures of the truck, sent the occasional, "Thanks again, bro," and even tossed out a few updates about how great the job was going. He sounded like a new man. Focused. Grateful. Then came month 4. I got a call from an unfamiliar number. It was one of those robotic reminders. "This is a courtesy notification about a missed auto loan payment." My gut twisted. Surely it was a mistake. I pulled up the online loan portal. Jason hadn't made the last payment. I called him immediately. "Hey, man, got a weird call from the loan company. Everything good?" He sounded distracted. Yeah, it's just a timing issue. I'm switching banks. The payment's already queued. No big. I wanted to believe him. But month 5 came, and with it, another missed payment. Another drop in my credit score. Another pit in my stomach. I texted him. No reply. I called. Straight to voicemail. At first, I gave him the benefit of the doubt. He might be sick, or dealing with something. But after 2 weeks of silence, I drove by his apartment. It looked empty. Mail overflowing. Garbage untouched. I reached out to my parents. "Have you heard from Jason?" "Not in a couple weeks," my dad said. "Is everything okay?" Depends how you define okay. I didn't have the heart to tell them yet. But the sinking feeling I had told me Jason was running. Running from a loan. From responsibility. From me. When someone doesn't want to be found, you'd think it'd be hard to track them down. But in this digital age, people leave trails even when they think they're off the grid. I combed through Jason's social media. His Instagram had gone dark, but a tag post gave him away. A friend of a friend had posted a group photo at a bar in Omaha just a few nights ago. There he was, laughing with a drink in one hand and a girl in the other. So he hadn't vanished. He was partying with my name still on his truck loan. That night, I couldn't sleep. The rage kept me wired. I kept hearing that automated loan message in my head on repeat. That voice wasn't robotic anymore, it was Jason's voice, telling me I was the sucker once again. The next morning, I called the loan company. "What happens if I stop paying?" The rep's voice was calm. "As the primary on the loan, you be liable. It'll damage your credit further, and the vehicle may be repossessed." I already knew this, but I needed to hear it. I needed confirmation that there was a path forward, even if it was ugly. I opened my savings account. I could afford maybe one payment before things got too tight. But was I really going to keep bleeding money for someone who ghosted me? I sat down and wrote an email to Jason. Not a rant, not a guilt trip, just a straight-up list of facts. How many months were missed, how my credit was tanking, how I'd kept quiet to protect him. I hit send. No reply. A few hours later, I texted him, check your email. You got a week before I do what I need to do. Still nothing. He had made his choice, so I was about to make mine. There's a strange calm that washes over you once you accept betrayal. It's no longer about confusion or disbelief. It becomes surgical. You cut away the dead weight. I gathered every message Jason had sent, his promises, his texts confirming responsibility, his "I got this" replies, and organized them neatly. Screenshots, email backups, bank statements. I wasn't just going to walk away from this. I was going to insulate myself. I called an old friend from college, Dan. He worked in asset recovery and had a network that was resourceful. You wanted to find the truck? He asked, half laughing. I want to know where it is and when it's parked, I said. Den Wistlet. Allicht, man. I'll see what I can do. While he worked his angles, I called the loan servicer again. This time, I gave him Jason's likely address and work hours, everything I had. I believe this qualifies for repossession, I said. The woman on the other end didn't flinch. Thank you, sir. We'll escalate the file to collections and notify recovery. I hung up, feeling a strange mix of guilt and relief. Jason wasn't just some guy who flaked. He was my brother. But he'd weaponized that trust, turned my kindness into a shield for his irresponsibility. 2 days later, Dan texted me a photo. The truck, parked outside a low-rise apartment in West Omaha. Midnight timestamp. Every night, same spot, he said. I forwarded the info to the recovery agency. 3 days after that, I got the message I'd been waiting for. Vehicle secured. The moment the truck was gone, so was Jason's cover. By mid-morning, my phone lit up with calls, one after another. Then came the texts. You called the repo people. What the hell, man? No warning? You seriously just let them take it? And finally, you ruined my life. I didn't answer. Not because I didn't have anything to say, but because I didn't know him a thing. For the first time in my life, I wasn't the cleanup crew. I was the one who threw out the trash. He called our parents. Of course he did. My mom left me a shaky voicemail. Danny, I know things are tense, but Jason's saying you set him up? Set him up? That was rich. I called her back, told her everything. The missed payments, the ghosting, the bar photos, the fact that he hadn't made a single installment since month 3. There was a long pause on the other end. Then a quiet sigh. I just wish you boys didn't hate each other, she said. We don't, I replied. But I'm done being played. Jason, predictably, went nuclear online. Facebook rants, Instagram stories. He painted himself as the victim. My own brother stabbed me in the back. Family doesn't mean anything anymore. His friends, or whatever crowd he still had left, ate it up. But the ones who knew the truth stayed silent. One of them DM'd me. For what it's worth, he's been bragging about that truck for months. Said he conned you into signing it. That was all I needed to hear. The fallout burned through the next few weeks like wildfire. Jason went silent after his social media tantrums failed to gain traction. His GoFundMe, titled Recovering from Financial Abuse, garnered exactly $37 before it disappeared. I never donated, never commented, just watched quietly from a distance. My credit took a hit, but it stabilized. I worked with the lender, filed every relevant document, and hired a credit repair specialist. Bit by bit, my score began climbing again. The hardest part wasn't the money. It wasn't the truck or the headaches. It was grieving someone who wasn't dead, just incapable of being who I thought they were. I started seeing a therapist. I talked about trust, family, and how years of enabling created a loop I was finally ready to escape. Jason never apologized. Not once. Not a call. Not a text. Not even a snide comment from a burner account. He just vanished into whatever scheme he was running next. I found peace in the quiet. I got a new job in a new city. Fresh start. Clean slate. And for the first time, I wasn't looking over my shoulder. Moving to Colorado was the best decision I'd made in years. Boulder had mountains, clean air, and most importantly, distance. Emotional and physical. I rented a 1-bedroom near the foothills and started over. The job came with better pay and a team that respected boundaries. I didn't tell anyone about Jason. He became a chapter I'd finished reading. But life has a way of testing you, even when you think the worst is behind you. One day I got a letter, handwritten, no return address. It was from Jason. The handwriting was shaky, the words rambling. He was sorry. He was misunderstood. He didn't mean to hurt anyone. And then, at the bottom, maybe we could talk? I stared at the letter for a long time. Did I owe him forgiveness? Was it even safe to open that door again? I folded the letter back up, tucked it into a drawer. Healing doesn't always come with reunions. Sometimes it comes with silence. Weeks passed after the letter. I didn't write back. Not because I hadn't thought about it. I did. Late at night, when the wind howled down from the Rockies and silence filled my apartment, I wondered what Jason really wanted. Redemption? Validation? A reset? One weekend, in early spring, I was volunteering at a local food bank when I spotted a familiar silhouette across the street. It was him, Jason. He looked older, worn down. Scruffy beard, hoodie pulled over his head. He didn't see me. For a moment, I felt my body tense. Fight or flight. All those years of pressure, of guilt, came flooding back. But then nothing. Just calm, like seeing a ghost that no longer scared me. I finished my shift, grabbed a coffee, and went home. That night, another letter arrived. Hey, I saw you today. Didn't want to intrude. Just wanted to say, I know I messed up. You didn't deserve any of it. If you ever want to talk, I'm around. Jason. No contact info. No phone number. Just that. I stood at my kitchen counter, letter in hand, thinking. My therapist once told me, closure isn't something they give you. It's something you claim. And I had. I lit a match. Watched the letter curl into ash in my sink. A few months later, I got an invitation to a wedding back home. A cousin I hadn't seen in years. The whole family would be there, including, I assumed, Jason. I debated not going. Colorado felt like sanctuary now. Fresh air, clean breaks, new energy. Nebraska was a cemetery of old wounds. But something in me, pride, maybe, didn't want to be chased out of my own family's orbit. So I booked a flight, packed my suit, and flew back for the weekend. The wedding was beautiful. Classic farmhouse venue. String lights and laughter. Our parents were thrilled to see me. My mom cried when I walked in. I missed you so much, Danny. I hugged her, but I didn't ask about Jason. The reception buzzed with clinking glasses and bad dance moves. Halfway through the evening, I spotted him. Jason stood near the bar, wearing a borrowed blazer and a tentative expression. He didn't approach, just gave a slight nod across the room. I nodded back. That was it. No speech, no scene, no apology. Just two brothers in the same space, with a mile of silence between them. Later, as I left, I saw him sitting on the curb outside the venue. Alone. I walked past him, paused, then kept walking. Closure wasn't cruel. It was clarity. A year passed. 12 full months since I last heard from Jason. 12 months of therapy, of quiet mornings with coffee, of hikes that ended with sunsets instead of stress. The truck, the loan, the chaos, all of it felt like a lifetime ago. Then, out of the blue, I got a call from our mother. Jason's in rehab, she said. Checked himself in a few weeks ago. There was a pause. He listed you as his emergency contact. I sat there for a moment, listening to the hum of my refrigerator. I haven't spoken to him in over a year, I said. I know, she replied. But he said, you were the only one who ever really tried. The next day, I received another letter, this time from the clinic. Jason had written it during group therapy. It was messy, filled with confessions, apologies, and guilt. No manipulation, no blame, just brutal honesty. He ended it with, I understand if you never respond, but I wanted you to know I'm finally taking responsibility, not just for the loan, for everything. I folded the letter, placed it in a drawer with the others. And for once, I didn't feel anger or sorrow. I felt peace, true peace, not because things were perfect, not because he was fixed, but because I had let go of the version of him I kept trying to save. Life moves forward, and I'm moving with it. My boundaries remain. My story continues. And Jason's? That's up to him.